Hello everyone, CyberEclipse here, and we're back for more Star Ocean 2, the second story. We are continuing through the Sanctuary of Linga here. We're almost done. Now, after the last battle in the last video, the game happened to freeze. So I had to go through the dungeon again and get everything that I had gotten before when I wasn't recording, and then now I've started from where we left off in the last video here. So I didn't end up getting anything extra like I did in the cross cavern. So if you guys see any skills that or anything like that might look different in terms of, like, you know, the number of skills that are leveled up and all that stuff, that's why.
Be careful.
Better be careful.
If you guys are really paying attention, I don't know. I know I wouldn't pay attention to that kind of thing if I was watching a playthrough, but just in case, if I get any questions. But I gotta say, I was very lucky that the game froze when it did, because Celine had just learned Eruption, the spell that she had just used. So that's when I knew that I was at the same level that I was before, so that I could continue. So if there was any time it had to freeze, I'm glad it was then, because then once Celine learned Eruption, I knew that it was ready to go. Good. And here we are, slowly trudging through
Behind you.
the sanctuary.
Take that. First,
We already found the herb that Bowman wanted us to find, but I've never run out of the dungeon and given the herb to Bowman without exploring the rest of the cave first. I don't know if maybe it wouldn't work, or I don't really know. I've always completed this dungeon before leaving and then going to show Bowman the herb. So if any of you guys know what happens afterwards, let me know. Like, is the rest of the cave optional, or would he say something like, "Oh, hey, you know, you didn't finish up the rest of the cave. That's not proof enough," or something. So I don't know. Now, I just thought of something. Have you noticed that there's no people, like characters, people of color in this game? Like, for any of you guys who don't know what any of the other characters look like, you know, based on what you've seen so far, or those of you that do know the game, there's none at all. So I wonder why that is.
They were weak.
I don't know, like, why aren't there people of color in this game?
Are you ready? You're in my way.
Those little things are so easy to kill. Look at this, I'm kicking those rabbits' asses now, and they used to kick my ass. Oh, Oprah has such a creepy voice. Sounds like a witch's laugh. I also have another question. This kind of goes with my people of color theme in Star Ocean that I was talking about. I'm surprised that no one has, no one actually said, like, oh, you know, this video games are racist for not having somebody of color in this certain game or whatever. I don't know. I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet. Or if that didn't happen before, I don't know. And not to sound like a jackass, but why is... Do you guys notice that, like, it's always like a racism thing? Like, a lot of people of color seem to cry racism a lot. I mean, yes, like, things have gotten better in, like, compared to the old days, but at the same time, yes, there is racism around. I mean, it's just not as overt as it used to be. It's more covert, but still, like, people cry racist an awful lot, and you gotta wonder if some of it is just a way of, you know, people getting what they want. Like,
You're in my way.
for example, you hire someone for a management position and somebody cries, oh, you know, it's a racism thing, you know, it's because I'm colored, isn't it, blah, 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 it's because of the color of my skin that I didn't get the job. And then people are like, oh, you know, we don't want any racism claims going on. Okay, you can get the job, like things like that. And I'm not saying that's always the case, but I notice the racism card is played an awful lot.
Are you okay?
And sometimes people use it to their advantage. Like, yes, I agree that, you know, the way that people of color were treated by Caucasians in, you know, people of white skin, Caucasians in the past was horrible. It was horrendous. You know, I think it's disgusting what, you know, what people did in the past, and, you know, it's absolutely disgusting, and it didn't need to happen, but, you know, don't abuse the racism card. That's just basically what I'm saying.
It was okay.
Like, if there's an honest need to cry racism, then yes, go for it, you know, because it's not fair. For example, if I felt that ableism, because I'm visually impaired, if I felt that ableism or even sexism, because I'm female, was ever an issue, then I would definitely play that card. But if it honestly wasn't the case, then, you know, why use it? And I noticed that, you know, people who are black and people who have different colored skin, do you notice that, you know, a lot of them are, like, on like, the lookout for racism? It's almost like they're, so if someone says, like, one thing that might be deemed offensive, even if it wasn't meant with malice, they say it anyway, and then they get all offended. Like, people in general get offended way too easily. Way too easily. I mean, if someone, like, ever said, like, for example, the N-word, I can't say it because I grew up with it being I grew up with it and being taught that it was, not a nice thing to say, so I can't even say it, but then you see, like, all these songs that say the N-word, and all of a sudden it's meant to be more of a positive thing, and, you know, there's such exclusion, because then, like, you know, if like, a person who's black says it, it's supposed to be a good thing, and if a person who is white says it, then it's supposed to mean, like, a terrible thing, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it's just all the double standards, and I'm not making my point very clearly here. Yeah, it's just that people are just so offended by the smallest things.
Like I must fight. Heads up.
I mean, you see it even in the media too, like people going like, oh, you know, I like all this stuff, like my homies and all this stuff, and all of a sudden they're like, you know, and the person who's black just stands there and looks like, and the guy's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend, right? Like, why can't people just chill out and relax and mean that, you know, maybe it's just not meant to sound mean, but it kind of accidentally came across that way, because, you know, we're so careful with our words nowadays. You notice that? Everything has to be politically correct. And, you know, like,
When did they?
even saying, like, oh, there's a black person, even that's, considered, like, racist and not politically correct. I mean, I have a hard time just saying, like, oh, a black person, blah, 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 now, because, you know, I was taught, I had it drilled into me in the social service worker program that I took in college and getting my diploma. I had it literally drilled into me that no, you have to put the person first, and then, you know, their color or ability or whatever second, which is good. But it just sounds weird to say, like, you know, oh, a black person or a person who is black. You know what I mean? A person who is black is considered politically correct. It's the same thing as, you know, a little person. It's called little person now. They used to be called midgets, but even that's called even that's a derogatory term now. And in today's society with lazy speech and leet speech and all that stuff, can you really expect people to be using more words in order to be politically correct? I mean, people are spelling things wrong. Like, you know, later is L and then the number 8 and then R. You know, people are getting lazier and lazier, but yet in politically correct speech there seems to be more and more words. Like, are people really going to use it? Like, why can't we say black person and then, you know that people mean that they're a person, they just happen to be black. But it's just easier to say. I don't know. It's just, like I said, people need to relax. I mean, you can usually tell if someone's being racist or if someone's speaking out of turn because they want to be insulting.
I will turn you into a
I mean,
hive.
we have to watch our words, and I don't know, and for me, it really makes me uncomfortable. It makes me not really even want to talk to some people, because it's like, oh, you know, are they going to be offended by what I say? I don't know.
Oh, good.
I don't know. Anyway, back to the game. We just learned Tractor Beam. That's a pretty good spell. Ugh, I have onion breath. I just had a really delicious spinach salad. I had, unfortunately it had onions in it and had pieces of chicken and mandarin oranges, and oh, I love spinach salad. I love spinach in general. I think it's really good. I've eaten so much spinach, I'm amazed that my skin hasn't turned green yet. I could look like Kermit the Frog, and I can't do a good impression, so that was my attempt at a Kermit the Frog impression.
Behind me?
Be careful.
So anyway, racism sucks, but we gotta relax about it. That's my, like, not about racism, but, you know, we gotta relax and not be on the lookout and expect that every single person is racist. And don't abuse the racist card either. That's not cool. I mean, do you think that maybe just kind of, you know, maybe the person just had better credentials and was more deserving of the job? Who knows? Anyway, I just showed you how Tractor Beam doesn't work. Because the bunny was up in the air. Tractor Beam is better for enemies that are on the ground. It's the only way that it works. So I just showed you guys that maybe the big fat bunnies aren't the best enemies to be using that particular spell on. So I forgot to enlarge my screen here. There we go. I want to be able to read the text when it comes up. Sometimes I forget to do that. Okay. Spread Ray. We're almost at the boss. Straight Punch. That's for Priestess, and we're not going to be getting her, so we might as well sell that weapon for some cash. Doesn't sound too shabby.
I have no choice.
Okay, I'm going to show you how Tractor Beam actually works properly. If I can find it. That's actually one thing that I hate about this game. Is that the menu for the spells and the items are just like a small little scrunched up menu on the top of the screen. Same thing with the Final Fantasy games. The spell and item menus are a really small, tiny menu on the very bottom of the screen. And why can't it just cover the entire screen so that you have, you know, because no one's moving anyway. Everything is paused when you're selecting your spells and items, so Why can't we have a bigger
enemy.
screen? I mean, it's so
Looks like I
scrunched
must
and it's so
fight.
hard to find things. Like, you notice I'm scrolling up and down, looking for what I need to find?
Gravity press.
I mean, that's one thing that really annoys me about this game, is the very small menus in battle for doing things.
Ray.
It's not necessary.
Piece of cake.
Unexpectedly weak.
Drinking my Mountain Dew. Remember that rumor a really long time ago about Mountain Dew, that it lowers your sperm count for you guys out there? I don't know, was that rumor ever confirmed or disproven?
Behind you. When did they?
Never heard anything about it.
First knuckle.
Personally, I think it's just a stupid rumor. I don't think it's true. How can a pop lower your sperm count?
Like cross.
I mean, if that was actually true, they probably would have taken it off the market. Although I guess cigarettes do damaging things to you and they're still sold, so I don't know. Maybe they wouldn't. Who knows? If any of you guys know.
Yes, you
I personally never believed that rumor. But hey, stranger things have happened, so you never know. What was that, Twin Slasher or something? That was for Ashton, and we don't have Ashton, so I might as well sell that as well.
Careful. It's the enemy.
That's what I like about this game too, is you can get some weapons that are meant for characters that you might not get, so therefore you can sell the weapons for some money. A lot of the characters use different weapons,
Don't pay for that.
and some characters use the same weapons. For example, if you remember from before, Diaz and Claude use similar swords, and a lot of them are compatible with the two of them. Hey, look at this pyramid!
More with this.
Awesome. That is a great way to end a fight. Here comes the boss. See? I'm all healed up there, and I saved. What is this place? Monster graves? Watch out, everyone! Oh my god, monsters!
This is bad. Here's the enemy.
They look pretty
I hate these monsters too. They're the kind of monsters that, if you get too close and they open up their mouth, they can suck you into their stomach, and then if you hit them a little bit with another character, then they'll eventually spit that character that was eaten out. Okay, let's protect Claude and Rena here. Oh, Claude and Opera, sorry. Rena's doing the spell casting here. Claude just got eaten. Luckily, it still worked. Don't eat me! There we go. If you can hear, the enemy that was eaten yelling, then you know that he got spit out. Like, you hear Claude going, oh, then you know that he got spit out. And you can fight again. And I'm so happy that when they spit you out, they don't kill you. That is a good thing. That would have made this battle twice as hard. I mean, I'm sure I could do it, but still, it would have made it harder. Go away. Oh, stop being so selfish, Celine. No! Rena got eaten. Rena got ate. Spell open. Oh, good. Rena was spit out. Phew. And I used the wrong spell. I meant to use Thunderstorm. See what I mean? They just automatically just throw you onto another character if one character has gotten eaten. Alright, let's cure you guys' poison here. This boss fight isn't too bad. Ouch! Yeah, I'll use tractor beam on this fucker. Yeah, let's protect Celine. Hey, why didn't Rena use her spell? Ah, she got eaten! Aw. Stupid monsters. Whew, good. There we go. Okay. Aw, damn, there's no need to use it. There's only like one enemy left. Haha, we're done. Yay, we're victory. We win the day.
Somewhere around 80 points. Yes.
Some good jewelry there.
Did it!
Wow, that was close. Wasn't expecting a sudden attack. Is this the door to the netherworld? Where monsters come out? Looks more like a graveyard than a door. There's no such thing as a door to the netherworld. It's just a graveyard, darlings. What are you saying? Do you mean this place was created by someone on purpose? Still, hundreds of heraldry masters wouldn't be able to do this. Blah, 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 blah. That's a tough word to say. Heraldry. Try to say that 3 times fast. Heraldry. Unknown guard. Okay. I need to figure out which one of my characters can use identify. Anyway, I'll see you guys outside the dungeon. Hello, we are outside of the cavern and we are heading back to Linga to make Bowman eat his words that we are liars. He never actually said that, but you could tell he was implying it. You know, just some book. I don't know if you're that strong. Go into the sanctuary of Linga and prove it to me. Well, in your face! Oh, it seems that you managed to bring it. Come on, show it to me. Here, how about this? Why, this is amazing! Is it good enough? No, wait. I've seen this before. Ah. But it certainly is a rare one. You must have gone quite far inside to have found it. Really? Yes, you're a darn sight better than the other adventurers I've met. I'll go with you to Keith's house. Come on, let's go. All right. Excuse me. All right, he's gonna help us. Okay, he's not in the party yet. All right. I thought I could select him as a character now, but I can't. His assistant says he's busy and asks us to leave. Wait a second, okay? I love this. This is so damn funny. Hey, Keith! Hey, Keith! Keith? You there, Keith? Hey, Keith! What in blazes is he doing up anyway? What is it? Stop that racket, will you? Sorry about the racket, it's me. Oh, Professor. I'm not a professor. Where's Keith? I'll inform him immediately. Sorry to keep you waiting. Please come in. Alright, let's go inside and get those writings deciphered. You were Bowman's friends, weren't you? I could see from the beginning that you were intellectuals. I believe that's called kissing ass when you guys kicked us out before. The professor is resting in his study. Well, I guess we'll forgive you. Excuse me? What is it? Why the crowd? Hi, Keith. What's the deal? You too important to receive visitors these days? What's that supposed to mean? These young folks have been trying to see you, but they keep getting the brush off at the door. Oh, that. This sorcery globe business has the palace in a snit about some meaningless ancient writings. They've got me working on them, so I told my assistant to keep people out of my hair. Out of your hair? Us? Listen, spare me your bruised egos, okay? What did you want? Of course, we were hoping you could decipher some ancient writings we found on an expedition into Cross Cave. Did you say Cross Cave? Yes, my dear busy professor. We found them, but can't read them. Why didn't you say so? That sounds much more intriguing than some job from a jaded bureaucrat. May I see the ancient writings? Of course. Here. Why, do you realize what you have here? This may be a watershed discovery. I've never heard anyone use that term before. Really? The script seems similar to ancient Labar, but the syntax seems to be different. I don't understand what that means. Do you think you can decipher it? It may take some time. Can you leave them with me? I want to give it some time. Of course, Professor. Thank you. I should thank you. This is quite a find, and it wouldn't have come to me if Bowman hadn't insisted. Now this is a rare occasion. Hear that, everyone? Keith thanked me! And everyone's laughing. Oh, look at Claude, big old belly laugh. And that's the end of the video.